Hey, how's it going? Today we are going to be doing some Am I the A-hole from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? If you're wondering why I'm saying A-hole, but I'll be saying the actual word later in the video, it's because I cannot do that within 30 seconds of the intro. So usually when I do this, I go through, I find a couple titles that look interesting, and then we do it from there. But today I thought it would be even funnier if I scroll through and I find them now, so like you can see my genuine reaction to even just the title. So with that being said, let's find some good ones. Am I the a-hole for kicking my brother and his family out after he tried to give me a whorevention? A what, you say? Oh, this one's pretty long. All right. Excuse you. I am having a hard time feeling remorseful, and I am unwilling to apologize for calling my brother out and for asking him to vacate my property. I have given him many chances to stop this behavior, and my brother won't stop shaming me for having been a stripper before I got my prestigious job. These are his literal words. I'm a nurse anesthetist. My first thoughts are, what the actual fuck? Like, your brother and his family lives with you, and he has the audacity to say that? Like, the audacity in the first place to say that, but especially living with you? Also, there is nothing wrong with stripping, especially because it seems to have gotten her to a place where she can have this job. For all we know, maybe go to school. Like, a lot of strippers actually strip for school. Not like for their schools, like they're not showing up stripping for their schools, but to like go through school. Imagine you go to your drawing class and they're just literally stripping, like not just stripped, but stripping. He has been making offhand remarks about me having been a stripper since he found out 6 years ago. He gets on these long tirades about how I am ungodly, unholy, and that the sins I committed can never be forgiven unless I repent and let Christ into my heart. I am not religious. I'm certainly not a Christian, and will never be one, but my brother refuses to accept this. And I only started stripping because his drug and gambling addiction ruined mine and our parents' life. He remortgaged their house, took out loans and several credit cards in our parents' name, and even sold our parents' identity to his former dealer. What? Her stripping is ungodly, but the gambling and drugs, that was chill, that was fine. Hey, in the name of Jesus, I'm putting down another 200 on the roulette. Let's go, spin it. He really said, I'm gonna let God handle it. And then his sister and family handled it for him. My Magic the Gathering just started up out of nowhere. There's ghosts. The Holy Spirit. Can we also point out the 6 years? He's been going off about this for 6 years and he hasn't found another thing to talk shit about? Like, come on, if you're gonna criticize, find something new. Bad way to look at it. That's a terrible way to look at it. If you're gonna criticize your sister who helped you through one of the hardest points of your life and you and your family live with her, find something new to criticize. No, but the 6 years, that's ridiculous. That's what I was trying to get at. Like, get over it. It happened, it helped you, and that was her life. Like, get over it. Also, I really don't understand what's with all these people wanting other people to rename themselves Christian. It's really getting out of hand. Like, if we were all Christian, there'd just be too many Christians in the world. Stupid joke. I didn't know how bad the situation was until I came home one day from university and found strangers living in our house. My father was too embarrassed to let me know they were living out of their car. They also never reported my brother to the police because my parents didn't want him back in prison. Last time he went for 2 years, me and my parents were blackmailed to pay his prison debt. This is sounding oddly like one of my family members. It's not, but I have a family member that basically was like randomly decided he was super religious and then told me I was going to hell for being queer, and then I haven't seen him since I was like 16, but he also like then did a bunch of illegal stuff but was caught for it actually, so I'm not like harboring secrets. But it's just so wild to me when religious people that will judge others live like this. Like, in what world do you have the right nor the time with everything you're dealing with to judge others? Like, don't get me wrong, it is devastating that he has addiction to gambling, to drugs. That part has my full empathy. That's terrible, and you do things you wouldn't typically do when you're in that state of mind, and I definitely want to say that. But it doesn't give you a free pass to do other people dirty, to ruin other people's lives, to say the things that he's said. Like, it's definitely something that where like somebody needs help and clearly his family was trying to get him help. But the fact that he can turn around and tell other people that they are sinners and that they're doing wrong and they're not doing good enough when like these are his personal struggles, the hypocrisy of it all. But I do want to point out that people in the height of addiction do things that they wouldn't typically do, and I recognize that, but it doesn't make it okay. And the fact that he's still going on about it shows that it was beyond just that. So when I found out my parents, baby sister, baby brother were living out of their car, I decided to work as a stripper. I made good money, and with that money, I was able to house my family, pay off my parents' debts, my brother's debt, and put my younger siblings through college/university. During that time, I also paid for his rehab, and he got his shit together. Now he is happily married, employed, sober, and with a child on the way. FYI, I paid for his wife's IVF treatments. Sounds like you had to grow up way too fast. Like, I don't know what age she was when she started stripping, but in any age to take care of your parents and all of your siblings and even your soon-to-be, like, nephew or niece. That is admirable that you did that. Cannot imagine. Last Sunday, our parents invited some people over for a big catered dinner. My brother and his wife thought this would be the perfect time to turn it into what he called a horrorvention and embarrass me in front of all the guests. I completely lost it. I was so enraged that I spent most of the evening cussing him and my sister-in-law out. I reminded him that I would never have stripped if he hadn't tried to ruin us. I'm just gonna go ahead and say not the asshole. I know we got a couple more paragraphs, but not the asshole. And his wife, the woman that you had literally no connection to. We've already talked about how it's terrible he said or did or has done any of what he's done. But the wife, somebody who isn't even like your actual family. I mean, yeah, they're family by marriage, but it's not like she's been in their life her entire life, right? Like, I could see like her being like, oh, I want to help my siblings, my parents. But she also paid for this woman's IVF treatment and she was a part of this? Are you kidding me? Ooh, I'm mad. I'm getting heated. On Monday, I drew up an eviction notice and sent it to him. I want to cut all ties with him and his family. I am truly done with him. Almost everyone is telling me I am right in being angry, but that it's terrible to kick him and his wife out when they are due to have their first child in 9 weeks. My parents are begging me to forgive him, and honestly, I feel like I have been, and I have been reasonable. I've given them 90 days. I am done being called the whore of Babylon and the downfall of mankind. You do have the right to be angry. You do have the right to kick him out. I don't care if she's 9 weeks pregnant. They should have thought of that before they did what they did. The only reason she's 9 months pregnant is because of you. And they still had the audacity to disrespect you like that. Also, 90 days is plenty of time for them to get a place. Like, if this man has a job and he's now working and he has the money to plan for a child because IVF is a planned child, then he should have the money to find a fucking place to live. If not, that's his own fucking fault. I'm sorry, that is his own problem. I also want to point out, like, the audacity of the parents trying to tell you to let him stay is wild to me. Like, they know what you've done. They know what they've been through with him. They know that, like, at this point of his life, he's been to rehab, he's got his shit together, and he's still mistreating the family like this. I think it's fucked up that the parents even said anything. I'm gonna be so honest. Apologies for the length. That's what he said. But I thought I needed you all to know as much as possible, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. I had to repost this because the moderators locked it down for breaking the rules. I have edited it and reposted it for judgment, thanks. I'm gonna assume the reason it was taken down is probably too many personal details in the first one. That's usually what it is. Edit. For clarity, I stripped for 5 years and used the money from that to claw myself and family out of debt and pay for my brother's rehab. I haven't stripped in over a decade. I paid for my sister-in-law's IVF and bought the house my brother and his wife live in with my nurse anesthesia's money, which is why he doesn't feel bad about asking me for help now, because this money wasn't made from sinning. Also, my sister-in-law is just as bad as he is. That's a detail I missed. You bought them a house? So I thought, in my mind, like, I might have misread somewhere, but I thought they were living with her. A full house, not even just living with her, a full home. It was already ridiculous. It was already over the top. And that just like made it skyrocket another fucking 50, 100 feet. What? Listen, I'm not personally religious, but I'm gonna go ahead and mark you as not the asshole and him as an ungodly, unholy sinner. What? Actually what? Here's the thing, she was like, I haven't stripped in over a decade, which makes it even wilder, that he is bringing it up so much and talking about it so much and constantly thinking about it. Like, why are you constantly thinking about your own sister stripping? That's weird to me. That is genuinely weird, and I'm not saying like he's some crazy creep that's like in love with his sister or anything. I'm just pointing out that it's strange to think about your sister's stripping job and virtue and morality that much. That's fucking weird. The wife obviously trash tossed her to the side as well. And I feel bad for the future baby, I'm gonna say it. Like, this man has made so many mistakes in his life and he keeps making them even when he has gotten a brand new start, thanks to you. And that's not to say he didn't put any work in, because obviously, like, you have to put the work in to get yourself to that point, but paying for his rehab, giving him a place to live, making sure he's being looked out for, not getting him in prison, like, that is so much burden for you to take on, and just the absolute disrespect. Yeah, I feel like there's nothing else I can say. I would never talk to them again either. I'm gonna be so honest that would be literally a full cutoff. All right, let's find one more. Oh, here's a good title. Am I the asshole for telling another mother our children aren't close anymore due to intelligence levels? My daughter, let's call her Sophie, used to be best friends with Kat. Listen, if you're gonna talk shit about a child's intelligence level in your title, at least put the apostrophe S on best friends. Like, at least get your own grammar correct. They used to be best friends in elementary school, but ever since middle school have started to grow apart. The school split the kids in advanced and normal for math and science. All other classes are still together. My daughter got placed in the advanced and Kat got placed in normal. No big deal, they still see each other in school. They were still close friends until group projects. There have been multiple group projects and kids get to pick their partners. Kat and Sophie usually work together, and that is when issues start happening. Sophie would get really frustrated that the work Kat did wasn't correct. I told her to just turn it in without fixing it, and she got a bad grade on that assignment. After that, Sophie went through a period of time fixing stuff. After a while, I told her to stop doing group projects with her. So they stopped doing projects together and the friendship blew up. So they are not friends anymore. It's Sophie's birthday and invites were sent out. Kat wasn't on the invite list my daughter made. I got a call from her mom asking why she wasn't invited. I informed her they aren't really friends anymore. She said invite her anyways since this is just a spat. I told her the people invited were people my daughter wanted at the event. This went for a while and came to why they weren't friends anymore, and I said it was due to both girls' intelligence levels and tried to explain the group project issue. She got pissed, accusing me I am calling her kid dumb. Never said that. She called me a jerk. I am gonna say you don't have to outright say it to insinuate it. Like, the title alone insinuates that you're calling her daughter dumb. I'm not saying you said that directly. You probably didn't. But there is an insinuation when you say something like that. You can't just be like, I never said that, even though it's what you were leading to. Edit. I did tell her they weren't firmed anymore. Friends, I'm guessing. She kept asking why. That's the reason I brought up the issue of why they aren't friends anymore. I wasn't going to lie. Also, she should already know why that friendship blew up, and the kids were arguing about it constantly for a while. I have a couple feelings that are a little mixed about this, and I wasn't expecting to.
Guess who's getting drugs? Oh, I got painkillers. Not those kinds of drugs, good people of America.
Hey, not everybody here is from America.
Not those kinds of drugs, Mr. Worldwide.
On the other hand, I want to be clear that I do see the side of things where Sophie has every right to work with other people. Like, her friend isn't entitled to working with her and getting better marks because of Sophie's work. And let's say Sophie did talk to Kat and Kat wasn't able to, like, come up with a solution with her or whatever. And Sophie was like, okay, I need to do something better for me, better for my academics, better for my stress level, right? Like, being in middle school is a lot. Like, you're going through a lot in middle school. And so I don't even blame her for not working with Kat. I want to be clear, I really see both sides of the project thing. I just think in the first situation, the mom could have possibly given better advice other than like, oh, you got this bad mark and now it's continuing to happen, just drop her. But truly, I see both sides to the project itself. And I don't think Sophie did anything wrong. I think she is a child that's probably stressed and going through puberty and trying to do the best thing she can. However, if we move on to the second part of the story, yeah, don't say that. Just don't say that. I'll admit the truth a little bit. You did not have to tell this other mother, oh, the reason my daughter isn't friends with your daughter anymore is because your daughter was dragging her down. Because that's the energy of what you basically said. That's like what you insinuated. It's okay to just say, you know what? I'm not entirely sure. It's okay to say, that's between them. I'm not gonna tell you. It's okay to say, hey, you're really prying, I'm finding it disrespectful, I'm gonna hang up the phone call now. That's all okay. But when you say somebody's child is dumb, which I know that's not what you actually said, but that's what's insinuated, you can't be shocked when people are mad at you. I am curious what other people think on this one though, because the end part, the phone call, I don't see how people could think she's not the asshole, but I wonder what people commented about that first part that I was struggling with when it came to my own opinion and my own perspective, because I kind of see both sides, so I kind of want to see what people were saying. Yeah, I think OP is an asshole for several reasons, including at no point did she seem concerned that her child's best friend was falling behind. Instead, she just went straight to the child is dumb. Your friend is struggling, dump her. And what her daughter heard, if you you one day fail like her, I'll dump you too. These comments simplified what I was trying to say, although I did not bring up the fact that she was not concerned about the child's friend, which I think is another valid point. Like, obviously that's not your child, but like, yeah, I think that's a point of compassion that I completely missed and that this person pointed out, is like just the compassion of being like, oh, your friend's struggling. Like, just the care. Oh, this person said not necessarily falling behind. Their own daughter is in advance, suggesting that she is better at academics. Not unusual for some children to just be better early on. That's true, like the gifted child burnout. Hey, what's up? So the child's not even like falling behind. And also, a bad grade to some people isn't a bad grade to everyone. So I'm really curious when this mom says it was like a bad grade, if it was like a B- or a B instead of an A, especially if she is in advanced academics, it could change like the perspective of like how they look at grades. So it could possibly to the general public not even be a bad grade. But obviously that's based off a lot of assumptions, so I don't want to get too deep into that. Anyways, that last one, I definitely think she's the asshole. I think some of the points could be murky and I can see multiple perspectives, but overall I think she's the asshole. With all that being said, I am gonna go FaceTime my girlfriend, make some dinner, hang out. If you liked the video, please drop it a like. It helps me with the algorithm. If you want any of my other socials, I post like TikToks and Reels and stuff like that, so that'll be in the description. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If I take Percy Jackson, which by the way, I'm reading this for the first time. I've never read it before. I'm reading it as an adult. And I don't know, if any of you are interested in me making a series where I review Percy Jackson, reading it for the first time, fresh perspective, as somebody in their 20s, I thought that might be a fun video idea, but I don't know how many of you are actually interested in that. So I don't know, let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.